Hello everyone, you're watching Player Review Team channel. Today we're once again discussing unconventional cards from recent drops. We'll compare Cech and Yashin, advise which one is better to upgrade and whether it's worth doing at all. Plus, we'll talk about Butragueno and how good he really is. Make yourself comfortable, let's begin. We're giving away 25 million coins and 5 weekend league boosts over the next 4 months while FC25 is still active. All links in the description. So, after completing Butragueno's SBC for 150,000 fodder, you can upgrade him in a special evolution for 300,000 and get this 98 rated card with a great set of passing playstyles, low driven and quick step. Yes, he can play centrally, as a cam and a left winger, but don't forget, you can turn him into a striker using the seasonal evolution. The question is, should you? Let's dive into it. Butra doesn't have rapid, not even the silver version, which means he has the classic long distance sprint issues. Plus, he's small and gets bullied off the ball. But if you manage to activate Speed Boost, the Spaniard can literally fly past defenders. The key is spotting the space and triggering the sprint. So Butragueno can manage without rapid if you use Speed Boost properly. That's the only way he can break away. Not often, but Speed Boost genuinely helps. Quickstep itself is more useful off the ball than with it. For example, in this clip, Quickstep helps him track back faster and make an intercept. And yes, the intercept trait helps, but that doesn't mean Butra will consistently win the ball. He simply has short legs. Here, he even lets the ball through between them. At the same time, the Spaniard is aggressive enough to bring down opponents with precise tackles. Also, he's insanely agile, which makes it easy to carry the ball and dodge bigger players. Or on the contrary, bait tackles and win fouls. Simply put, his agility is top tier, which makes playing with Butragueno's body type extremely enjoyable. He has incredible L1 movement and very sharp animations, but as you can guess, such small models are very vulnerable. So if your opponent plays smart and doesn't dive in, they'll just push the Spaniard off the ball with ease. That said, no one's stopping you from using Butragueno as a third central midfielder pushing from deep, especially with his golden low driven. Still, as a box-to-box or even a shadow striker at cam, Butra will get tired quickly. He doesn't have relentless and his stamina isn't maxed out. So we'd play him as a playmaker at cam, triggering his runs manually, just so he doesn't waste energy running around on his own. Again, you must use his low driven. That's why Butra needs to play as close to the box as possible, especially since his low shots feel fantastic. It's not just the scripting, but also the small model that connects with the ball quicker. On the topic of shooting, his trivelas are worth noting. They land well in the corners even without green timed finishing. What's more, his silver finesse allowed us to score this kind of banger, though you wouldn't believe how many attempts it took. Most of the shots turned out like this, so don't expect too much, just set him up for trivela shots. As we remember, our featured player has golden incisive pass. Right now, incisive plus is valuable for literally any position, especially those playing deeper than a striker. This kind of pass can replace a long ball, like when you need to switch to the opposite flank, or lead your striker into space. That's why Emilio fits great as a playmaker. To sum it up, here's the thing. If the card had Finesse Plus, we'd definitely keep him in the main squad for a while. But our good old Insigne still does the job, so there's no reason to replace him. Same goes for midfield. For example, we recently packed Mia Hamm, who turned out to be a great option for a midfield trio. She's playing box-to-box now. Yes, she's small too, but her golden intercepts often save the day, and her passing is excellent. Butragueno's main issue is stamina and the lack of relentless, which is critical for a central player, though not so much for a cam playmaker. Meanwhile, Ribéry would be even better as an attacking cam, because finesse shots matter a lot in that role. By the way, Carvajal is pretty interesting but clearly less agile than Butragueno. On the other hand, he has magical trivelas and finesse shots. Let us know how he plays for you if you picked him up. Overall, Butra reminded us a lot of words, so if you've used his card, you'll know what to expect from Butragueno. That said, Butragueno is unlikely to stay in your team for long, so if you haven't upgraded him yet, there's no rush. Now let's move on. As you know, EA gave everyone Cech and Yashin. You can upgrade one of them for 400,000 in a special evolution, then score 10 goals and convert them into a striker or winger, plus choose silver playstyles. Let's get straight to the point. Both cards are basically identical, so just pick whichever you prefer. Yashin just happens to have his iconic cap in game. We went with Cech out of nostalgia for his previous striker card and because of his height, 196 centimeters. By the way, Cech feels nearly the same on the left stick as Yashin, so there's nothing to worry about. We selected these 6 playstyles out of 12 and recommend you do the same. They're the most meta for these cards, although you can swap Relentless for Pinged Pass if you like. Interestingly, even before full upgrades, Cech had explosive speed boost without even using Silver Quickstep. So turns out, Quickstep isn't that crucial for a strong speed boost. Rapid can get the job done. And Rapid always works better on the long-legged players, even without lengthy acceleration. Both Cech and Yashin have great pace and burst well. Here's another example of an explosive first step thanks to speed boost. Yashin is 7 cm shorter, so in theory, he should feel more agile. However, we didn't notice any real difference compared to Cech. Both cards are agile enough, at least with decent gameplay. They also have sharp L1 animations. Simply put, their left stick is solid. That said, Cech's shot animation can take slightly longer due to his height. This can sometimes affect your timed finishing consistency. Not that Yashin doesn't have these issues, but being shorter, he hits the ball a bit faster. Besides the 5-star skills, we need to mention how important Trickster is, especially on taller guys. Just make sure you select the right playstyle when upgrading. Also, don't forget the silver low-driven shot. This is how Cech shoots without it. And here's another one. As you can see, the shot lacks power, even with precision shooting active. Now look at the same low-driven shot after upgrading. The shot speed clearly improves and finishing gets easier. That said, when using the silver low-driven shot, you need to be very accurate or time it well. Otherwise, the player may miss completely. So, if your player doesn't have low-driven shot at all, just go for a power shot instead of low. It'll be more accurate with fewer errors. Both cards have finesse shot, and again, they feel basically the same. Still, we'd recommend using the strong foot for finesse, even with 5 stars on the weak one. Of course, if you're using precision shooting, you can still hit top bins with the weak foot, but most of those bangers come from the dominant foot, so try to angle your player onto his strong side, especially if you're not using precision shooting. Now for the fun part. Do you think Cech has the Trivela playstyle in this clip and in this one? You've probably guessed where this is going. Even after upgrading to Trivela, long shots like these didn't improve. They were already scripted. On the other hand, as we've always said, Trivela becomes way more impactful when paired with low-driven shot, even silver. It adds curve to the shot that keepers just can't deal with. And don't forget Aerial Plus. While it can help on corners, it still falls behind classic bicycle kicks, especially on tall players. Generally, these builds can win the ball back purely due to their height, which can be useful, or even intercept passes just from having long legs. Though without the right talent, that's still tough. Last thing to mention is Tiki-Taka. Both cards start with the cam position, but after upgrades can play striker or winger. Tiki-Taka is effective in any of those roles. Now to wrap up, let's repeat the point we made at the start. Yashin and Cech are practically identical. You can upgrade either. We picked Cech also because he's left-footed, and let's be honest, quality left-footed strikers are rare in this game. For instance, Van Persie ended up being underwhelming, and Tot Suarez took his spot. Still, Cech probably won't make our main squad, mostly because his low-driven shot is silver, not gold. And overall, can we recommend spending 400,000 on the upgrade? Honestly, yes, if you're bored of the game and want something fresh and fun. But they're not high meta, and probably won't improve your squad long-term. Still, for new emotions, it's worth it, especially since EA knows most of us are sitting on millions and not spending them. So they're trying to throw in creative options, so to speak. But if you're not into experiments, here's the thing. Leão, and especially Kaká and Ferran, are more practical options for your squad. By the way, we have reviews for those and other cards on the Player Review Team channel. The detailed ratings for these guys will be posted tomorrow on our Twitter. If you've got any questions, drop them in the comments and we'll try to respond quickly. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next reviews. Thanks for watching and see you in the next videos.